welcome to Conversations on Leadership with Dr. Dave. We are back with our second segment, and we are here with Dr. Fritz Polite, and we've covered the question on what does leadership mean to you and what does good leadership look like. But I would like to go ahead and jump into our second question for this next segment is what was one of the biggest leadership challenges you've had to face?
One of the biggest ones I had to face, which really has kind of set a foundation for me today, I was a part of a leadership team that established a very unique program. And that program was based around not just business acumen or the attainment of business acumen for students, but we also wanted to focus and emphasize this leadership component. And the leadership component was tied to their ability to utilize their leadership skills in a servant mentor capacity. In other words, the program was the first in the country and one of the few in the world that focused on those areas. The business acumen, in other words, all of the basic components of an MBA. So it was an MBA program.
Okay.
And I guess that program was called the DeVos program. So Richard DeVos, the owner and founder of Amway, who also owns an MBA franchise, gave a substantial gift to the university to start this program. And the reason that he agreed to do the program was he was really caught by the fact that we were not just focusing on students acquiring business skills. We wanted them to be empowered that we're training and we're educating future leaders, and that you have to be empowered that you are going to leave here and go into the industry in a leadership capacity. And what's going to distinguish you from any of the other MBA programs are going to be some of the work that you've done. And so we incorporated a lot of service activities. So when Katrina in New Orleans came, we took students from Florida to New Orleans to do some work around the Katrina with the NBA. We worked with the NFL as well and trying to help New Orleans kind of revive itself. So our MBA students were integrally involved, not only on the academic side, but also on the social responsibility and the service mentor paradigm, that you cannot lead without having a servant mentor kind of mindset. And the reason why it was so challenging is because it was new. That mindset was new. And so there were traditional MBA faculty, traditional MBA programs out there that said, what is that? All that stuff's foo-foo. You know, it's not a real MBA program. And now you look back, and that was in 2002. And now the general manager of the San Antonio Spurs graduated from that program. The vice president of marketing for sponsorship activation for the Mavericks graduated from that program. Wow. The vice president for Paradigm Sports graduated from that program. And so these same students who were a part of this initial project have now gone on and now are true leaders in the industry. And they still go back to that cornerstone of leadership is definitely associated with a servant mentor kind of mind view, and that social responsibility is important, that we are responsible and accountable to our community and utilizing the platform that we have to do good in the world.
No, I agree with that 100%. It was funny that I just watched an interview yesterday. I forget the gentleman who was doing the interview, but he was interviewing the retired deputy chief for FDNY, so the New York City Fire Department, and it's been there for decades. And he said, what would you advise a new leader, or basically, or like say a new lieutenant in the fire department, a new captain in the fire department? What would you, what's the one, like the top word of advice? He's like, I've got a ton of advice for them, obviously. But the number one thing I would say to them is, you're there to serve your people. Your people aren't there to serve you. He's like, absolutely. Drill them, teach them, make them better firefighters, but you're there to serve them, get them what they need. They're not there to serve your needs. You're there to serve their needs. And I like that quite a bit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As a fellow Rotarian, it's just service above self. Service to
Yes,
others above self. I mean, and that's the true essence of leadership. Is it's really not about you. It's about how can you serve others.
100%. It is absolutely it. So it sounds like that was quite a bit of a challenge that DeVos School of Business to put together that program, but it sounds like it really panned out at the end. Long-term results sounded great.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, it's that was in 2002, and that was my first faculty position. I graduated in 2002 from the Florida State University. My
Right.
first job was at the University of Central Florida, and you fast forward to Shenandoah. I when I came here, we were not doing as much in the community as we are now. So we have students doing mentoring at Bass Hoover Elementary School, at Orchard View Elementary School. So those same tenets, those same roots that started in 2002 have carried me throughout my life. And so
Nice.
everywhere I go, any opportunity I get, I try to engage students on that concept of it's not about you, because students really tend sometimes to be about them. And
Yeah.
you've got to convince them, you've got to find ways to empower them that they have the potential, they have the skill sets, they have the ability to influence others, particularly young people, and especially those at risk, first gen, lower socioeconomic folks that really need that support, because there are some out there with, the golden spoon, and, parents have all the resources to be successful.
Right.
But there are others that do not have those resources, and that we want to level the playing field. And by going out to these elementary schools, by creating mentoring programs, it gives those students a leg up and gives them an opportunity to look to the future, that have some vision that they can be, they can do these things, but also empowers the student that they're feeling that they're impacting someone and that they feel like they're contributing. So I think it's a win-win.
Yes.
And that the DeVos program, and launching not only the curriculum, but also the programming, the internships, the practicums, all that stuff was very challenging.